What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the Crypto Catch Up. Of course, your number one place to catch up on crypto. Now, today we're going to be going over some very strong news and rumors that we've gotten about Bitcoin and Solana. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, my friends, and let's start off just getting an idea of what is happening in the market in general. Well, what we can see is that, of course, we are looking pretty damn solid over the last 24 hours. Some of your major players like Bitcoin up 5.8, Ethereum up 7.7, BNB 4, Solana 1. I mean, doing pretty dang on good. Now, haven't fully recaptured the losses that we saw towards the beginning of this week, but definitely holding up well. Now, looking at crypto bubbles to kind of look a little deeper into this, we can definitely see that the last 24 hours have been rather strong for the entire market. You know, SUI and HNT and TIA. We got Brett popping up there, ENS and MKR, Phantom, Render, DYDX, all doing incredibly well. And so happy to see, very happy to see some green, especially considering how oversold this market get and how much conviction we had that we should be buying about a week ago. Now, as I mentioned before, we've definitely not recovered all the way. We've not seen the full recapturing of the levels on which we were at a week ago, but it is good to see that we have made some good progress. And of course, this still does show me that we could still be within a buying opportunity, quite simply because there is still gains to be made, right? We have land to recapture, if you want to get all dramatic here, on the weekly and on the monthlies, a little bit more on the weeklies than the monthlies. Now, overall, looking at a couple key features, okay, you guys know we like to look a little bit deeper behind the scenes of what's happening in this market. Looking at the crypto fear and greed index for the day, we are currently sitting at 48, which is neutral, guys. That might be it. That might be it. The opportunity that we had to be in fear and extreme fear. We were in fear for about 4 days. We were in extreme fear for about 2 days. And that might have been it. That might have been the opportunity to buy when everybody was fearful, right? To run in the burning building. That might have been the opportunity. And now we're back to a point of neutrality. And historically, neutral points are decent times to buy, but nowhere near as good as extreme fear and fear. So, maybe starting to get to a point in which the buying opportunity isn't as strong as it was when we were capturing it there. Now, finally, looking at the RSI heat map for further conviction and confirmation. Looking at the weeklies, we can see that our average RSI is now back within neutral territory. We were able to buy some cryptos, Bitcoin and ETH and Solana and etc. when they were all in a weak and oversold territory, which are historically the best times to be buying. And there are some decent options in here, right? We see Matic still in a weak territory, Mana, Dot, Link, and we see some decent options there, but most of our really good ones, right? Our Bitcoins, our Solanas, XRPs, Aves, these are all sitting back within that neutral territory. Not saying it's a bad time to buy, it's just not a good time to buy. Quite simple. So overall, the market has recaptured some very strong levels. We've seen it push back up to some really good points. And as a result of that, of course, we're definitely not doing as much buying as we were before. But what I will say is that a lot of this has been the result of some pretty interesting news that we have been getting here within the world of crypto. So let's start with our Bitcoin news. Now, this is a rumor from a BlackRock insider, a BlackRock source, saying that their end-of-year base case of total inflows is 40 billion. Best case is 50 million. Demand hasn't peaked yet. Shout out to my financial friend for bringing this to my attention. Shout out to him. You can go check him out down below. But overall, they're currently sitting around 20 billion. Now, you guys know, the amount of inflows we've seen this year have been absolutely absurd, absolutely insane. And what you have to consider is that this isn't just only BlackRock, right? This is including Fidelity and some of the others, but BlackRock holds the vast majority of these inflows. Each one of these bars that you're looking at right here are weeks, right? And so, for example, the thousands, these are millions. So if we're looking at this is 2.5 billion, 2 billion, 2.5 billion, 3 billion, etc. And what we know is that a lot of the inflows that we've seen from the whales recently has been BlackRock doing the majority of it. And on top of that, they've also been fighting Grayscale. Grayscale is constantly outflow, but Grayscale is running out of Bitcoin to outflow. They're running out of the ability to do so. And so, of course, because of that, I cannot even really imagine what these inflows could start to look like, considering that BlackRock is only around 20 to 22 billion dollars worth of inflows. If the calculations are correct, that could still be a double or, a 2.5x from here without all of the Grayscale outflows. And you got to think, those inflows are the inflows that got Bitcoin, for example, up to, $57,000, $60,000, $70,000. So imagine where we could be going as a result of that if they do continue throughout the rest of the next 4 to 5 months, picking up another 20 to 30 billion dollars worth of Bitcoin. absolutely mental news. And that does put everything in a spot in which if Bitcoin does continue in the direction that it's going, shoot, obviously we could really start to see it pull some of our altcoins with it, because you guys know we are probably going to finish out this year. Maybe like November, December, it'll change, but we're probably going to go the next couple months in Bitcoin season, right? With Bitcoin leading the market. And so with Bitcoin constantly having these inflows that will then trickle down into the rest of the ecosystem over time as a liquidity, that could lead many things. That could lead your Solanas to $300. That could lead your ETHs to $4,000, right? Those are the things that are possible with that. And so this is absolutely massive news. Now, moving on a little bit further, we just got some Solana news, baby. A Solana ETF has been approved by the Brazilian the Brazilian SEC. And of course, this is some damn good news. Now, it's not the biggest news on earth, right? It's not the craziest thing we've ever heard, but it definitely is important. And the reason being is because oftentimes what we see is that when somewhat well-respected, mid-respected countries do something, it doesn't really matter what, they just do something. Let's think about an example, right? El Salvador, right? When they came out and said that they were going to legalize Bitcoin as a legal tender, what happened after that? We started to see the dominoes fall. So did this little country and that little country and this little country and that little country. And next thing you know, you got a good bit of these smaller countries now taking up a big size of the population that are actually starting to do things. And so what I'm under the expectation of is that now that Brazil has finally taken that step, other countries will as well. And what's interesting about it is if they're willing to go for Solana, what else are they willing to go for, right? Are we going to see some, 10, 15, 20 smaller countries start to, open up ETFs for other smaller cryptos? Are we going to see the, revolution, whatever you want to call it, of the ETFs for many of our altcoins, some of the ones that are more risky? Because that is the reason why, realistically, we haven't seen a Solana ETF yet here in the States, is because we are seeing people like BlackRock come out and say, which I don't believe them, but say that, this is too risky and it doesn't meet their criteria and all of these things. Whereas if these other smaller countries are willing to do it, then maybe that opens the door for others, and that's how you start to really see these huge inflows for some of your other altcoins. And so because of that, it definitely does seem to me like this could be the door opening of opportunity for Solana to start seeing ETFs kind of go a little bit more widespread, especially among your more crypto-friendly countries, right? And the ones that are really targeting the crypto population. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And that is a large amount of people. That's hundreds of millions of people that this could benefit and affect. And of course, that could be super big for Solana. And so because of that, of course, these are two big pieces of news, right? Like, you're opening up the doors of opportunity for way more inflows into Solana, and you're opening up more doors of opportunity for inflows into Bitcoin if we are going to, of course, see this insider information come true. Obviously, it's just a rumor to some degree. Sources I do believe, but at the end of the day, you can only go off what you see, and this is just a rumor. It's something we hear. And so, in my opinion, it is worth noting. It is worth taking into account and kind of applying it to our thesis, and it does make me even a little bit more bullish on where we are in crypto in general. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not quite sure that this is the best time to be buying, right? But I think from a macro perspective and a long-term perspective, it's still a good time to be buying, just not the best. In the short term, probably not a good time to buy. Long term, probably a good time to buy. So it's just a way about the way you want to approach it. Do you want to take the risk? Do you not want to take the risk? Totally up to you, of course. But overall, I wanted to just drop these news bombs on you, let you know what's going on in the world of crypto. Guys, I have a bunch of announcements coming out soon, but I'm not going to say nothing quite yet. Just stay tuned for next week. We got some big announcements, big things coming directly to you. Absolutely huge. So stay tuned for that. And of course, if you guys do enjoy this content, remember, this is a brand new channel. We're only 8 days old, or 7 days old, 8 days old. We're coming up on 450 subscribers as we speak. So of course, I have a goal of 1,000 subscribers by October, and we might smash that. So if you could help me on my journey to 1,000 subscribers by October, that would be absolutely amazing. All I need you to do, press that subscribe button and smash that like button, so more people are going to see this video and join the family. But overall, of course, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I can't wait to see you all tomorrow in the next one. Peace out, everybody.